What's up, guys? My name is Wes. This is Peace Parts, and it's been a while since we've been here. It's been a long time coming, but we finally got the custom sequential lights installed on the Miata. So I'm gonna show you guys the few kind of final things I did to finish them up, and then show you them actually installed. So let's get into it. Alright, so this was the first light that we made, and basically all I did was remake the same thing but with the panels flipped. Pretty straightforward. It's the exact same thing. The Ghost module is the exact same thing. I have the exact same program on that module just to keep things simple. On the wiring side of things, once I got the headlights or the lights actually put together, I had to worry about the wiring. And if you remember, I had two different turn modes. I have one turn mode that will turn on, keep those stay lit for a second, turn back off, and then repeat that same sequence. And then I have another mode that just chases itself, goes, stops, goes, stops, goes, stops, and so it just kind of like circles around. And that's my favorite, so that's why I have it set to right now. But I wanted it to be able to be switchable from the two pretty easily without having to like wire both in and undo a wire and switch it to the other one and everything like that. So basically what I did is I made it so that on the back of the light we have this little switch over here, and I need to kind of finish this out and seal it up a little bit better, but basically I have two positions on the switch, this one and this position, and so that determines which turn signal mode I want to use. So if I want the scrolling feature, I just go to this one. If I want the build and stay feature, I go to this one, and it's on the fly. You can change it whenever you want. And then coming out of there, that yellow wire, we have the same. We only have one turn signal wire coming out of there. So no matter what what switch the setting is set to, the car will still send the signal to this yellow wire. Anyway, so to get the wiring all tidied up and everything, I bought a socket. This is just a basic socket that would go to this light, would hold an 1157 bulb. Pretty simple. Basically what I did is I just took the wiring out of it, just pulled them out, and then used the grommet from the original wire, and stuck these wires through there since they're a little bit smaller than the one that was on that socket. And so I've got my main power and ground for the Ghost module right here, and then I've got my three outputs of the board. I've got turn signal, this is running light, and this is show mode. So these are the three different modes that I have in the light itself. And so basically the only thing extra that you'd have to put onto the car is this switch 12 volt power, which I'll get to in just a second. So basically these three right here, this black wire, this yellow wire, and this white wire, correlate directly to the three wires on the car. You've got a black ground, and then a black with green stripe, that's the turn signal wire, and then you've got I think it's a black with red stripe or just a red, I can't tell, mine's been kind of painted over. So basically what I did is I just took it from that plug, which you can see right there. This plug goes in the factory harness right there. I spliced in the wires to that plug right there that you can see a little better, and those go straight to the light. So that gives me ground to the Ghost module, and then my two main inputs that the car would use right there. Now the show mode function, I wanted both of them to be together so that you didn't have to switch this light on for the show mode and then switch that one on for the show mode, because then you'd have to switch them on at the same time, and you wanted them to be at the same time so that way it looks, it looks even and everything like that. So this wire actually runs over to the other side where there's a switch, and I'll show you that in just a second. So the wiring goes from this side over to the other side. I've got just a black and red wire, but the black wire on here is actually for the show mode, and the red is the constant power that I was talking about a second ago. And excuse this wiring mess right here. I'm gonna get a real connector, weatherproof connector, and do them correctly. I just wanted to put them together and make sure they work for a little bit and test it out before I went ahead and bought all the connectors. So like I said, the red here is the 12 volt power, and then this black one goes straight into the green, which is the show mode on this light as well. So then this switch right here will turn on and off my show mode. So this one is connected straight to that light, and it actually sends a 12 volt signal over to that light to switch on the show mode. And so the constant 12 volt power, so the plug on this side, right here, has the same 3 wires, the black, white, and yellow, that come from the back of this Ghost module. So it's the same as the other side, plugged into this harness right here. And then the constant 12 volt power source. Miatas are pretty sweet because they have this little blue plug up here, that is a switched 12 volt power. I believe it's for a timing light. When you want to hook a timing light up, since the battery on Miatas is in the back, you got to have some way to get to it there. I usually just hook it up to my alternator over there, but that's a different story. Anyway, the point of the matter is that they have this right here to plug right into. So all I did was put a spade terminal on there, pop that onto there, and then I have a switch 12 volts. So that switch 12 volts is connected right to there, and then basically just connected in parallel over to there. Both are connected to ground through the plugs, which means I got all the wiring I need. So really, the only extra wire that you have to tap onto the actual car's wiring, that have to change the car's wiring at all, is that one switch 12 volt, which on Miatas, piece of cake, just plug right into it. Okay, I think I've yacked enough about it, so let me just show you what they look like. Alright, I'm going to try to show this the best I can without washing everything out, because these lights are really pretty bright. But so this is, I have my hazards on right now actually. The car is switched to the on position, which means I have power to the boards, and I'm just using basically the turn signal output through the hazards. So right now it's just doing the sequential on this side for the turn signal. So this is the first turn signal mode, and then on this light I have the second turn signal mode. And so you can see here, it basically just builds, stops, and holds it for just a second, and then turns off and goes and repeats the same thing. Personally, I like this look better anyway, so that's what I've been running with. So now that's what the turn signals look like, the two different modes. And the switch right here, like I said, that turns on show mode, is actually going to override anything that's going on the lights at all. So if the running light's on, or if any of the turn signal modes are on, or anything like that, you flip the switch to show mode, and it automatically goes to show on both lights. And so this is what I was talking about having the two lights be at the exact same timing is what I wanted, so that wire that runs from this switch over here and connects to this light means that both of them gets the same signal to start show mode at the same time. You guys have seen this a million times already. Show mode hasn't changed, so that's what it looks like with both of them on the car doing show mode. But anyway, so if you flip that back off, and then it goes right back to what it was doing before. This is what the running lights look like. Pretty basic, nothing too crazy, just nice little angle there. And then again, if you switch to the show mode, it automatically goes to show mode from there. And the way this light, the way the switch is set up right here, it actually, you think you would hit the headlight housing, but it does not. It's just barely enough clearance. And you can only switch it on if the headlights are up. I figured that wasn't really a big deal. I mean, you could probably just barely reach it when the headlights are down, but that's a way simpler and easier solution, well, easier and reversible solution than running a switch inside and switching it inside. The few occasions where you want to flip it on inside, pulling up to somewhere maybe, it could be changed pretty simply, but I just thought this was an easier way to do it, so that's the way I went with. So there you go. All right, everybody, I hope you're as excited as I am, because these things are freaking sweet. I love the way they turned out. I've already gotten so many compliments on them and how they work and how they look and all that stuff, so I'm super happy with it. I hope you guys are pretty excited about it as well. I'm going to just kind of test them out for a little bit and make sure I don't have any problems. I've had a few little things come up now that are like I didn't expect until I actually had them on the car, so we're going to try to work through a few of those tweaks maybe and see what all we can kind of figure out with them. And because this is the first kind of time I've done anything like this at all, so stay tuned for that. Be patient if you're wanting some of these. My plan is to make probably about 10 sets. So I'll probably have a thing on Facebook or on here saying like first 10 people basically get the lights for whatever, and then I'll make a batch of them and send them out, or I'll figure that out eventually. But that's the plan right now. So stay tuned for that. But that's all I got. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this, make sure you subscribe so you can see more of this cool stuff. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.